Hello everyone, this is Charles BridgTec with another flashlight review, this time on a Fenix LR40R. Now it comes in this box. You can get this directly from Fenixstore.com. We'll look at some of the specs here on the bottom. So you got total light output on this, 12,000 lumens on turbo. Alright, so let's get this open, see what's in. Of course, you've got the user manual. Multi-languages in this. Really like Fenix. They go a lot of detail into their user manual, so that's nice. Of course, you got a warranty card here. And you've got a little leaflet here with more of their products that might interest you. Looks like we have a lanyard and an extra set of O-rings in here. We'll take that out later on. One USB charging cable. This is a Type-C charging. Alright, so now we're going to go ahead and take the light out. Now it's already in the holster here, as you can see. Now this is very similar to the TK72R that I'd done previously a while back. The open-end design on the head of the lights, I'm not a real big fan of that, but it does hold it snugly. It will not fall out, but does have a D-ring as well. Holster feels solid. Like I said, my only issue is with it being open like this. Dust gets all over the lens. A lot of other issues that could happen, including you may not strap this down really super tight. It could fall out, especially if you're leaning forward or leaning backwards. So, might be something you may want to get a carrying case for. But definitely nice quality on the holster as far as the build quality. Just this design is not really the best in my opinion. Okay, so now we're going to go ahead and take the light out. And there it is. Now right offhand, this host is identical to the TK75. I've done a couple of versions, the old 2015 and the newer 2018. Definitely same body style and host on this, but just the finish on this, nice semi-gloss on this. So it's nice to see that they're building on top of a very easy to hold, very popular already, and legendary host. TK75 is one of my favorite lights. It's got a good combination beam. Leans a little more for the dedicated thrower side, but this here has total different setup. It's got flood, or you can use the dedicated thrower by itself, or you can use them together to get that monster 12,000 lumens. Very similar design as TK75, like I was telling you earlier. Two buttons there. And this here is nice. You can use it as a power bank, similar to the TK72R. Charging port there, and then you've got the USB output. You can charge a cell phone there or run a small device on it. Machining and finish on this is excellent. Not seeing any issues whatsoever on any of the Fenix lights. It's got that gray bezel. Really nice. A lot of heat sinking here which is really nice for these lights. Now, this will do really well if your weather outside is cooler, because this will get very warm, especially when you're running it on those higher light outputs. Style and design on this, I really like it. It's one of my more favorite ones. Really nice on that. Feels good in the hand. Alright, so now let's go ahead and take a look here at the smooth reflector. You've got 18 Cree XP-G3 LEDs. Try to get a real good close-up of there. Alright, so now I'm going to go ahead and take this all apart. This does come with a battery pack. Now you can run regular 18650s in this as well if you choose to do so. It does have a little liner in here. You'll need to remove this, basically paper. I'll remove that and we'll take this out here. Now as you can see there, well greased on the threads, which is nice. Show you the contact plate here on the head. And here's the battery pack. That's 12,000 milliamp. So my assumption is that these are 3,000 milliamps a piece. Only goes in one way. And I'll show you how you can bring in some protected cells. You're going to need to use protected cells because of the length. Otherwise you'll need to use some magnets on the negative side of the battery to be able to reach the plate correctly. And fits like that, fits in there perfectly. You can then go ahead and use regular 18650s on this, and you've got full battery power on those. Now my understanding here is you can also use one battery, but only on the lower setting. So if you can use 1 through 4 in this configuration, but just remember, the higher the output may trigger the protection circuit on the battery, so it's definitely not something you can run on the highest outputs on. So that's really nice that Fenix did that. So if you are in the need of an extra battery, extended runtime, so on and so forth, you're not stuck with the battery pack that you have to wait and let it charge, even though this does charge in about 3.1 hours. So that's pretty nice to see that they've done with the fast charging on the Type-C. So now I'm going to go ahead and put the regular battery pack back in here. Just wanted to show that for reference. Put the batteries back in like that. And now let's go ahead and get started on the UI. Okay, now that we got this all back together, I'm going to go ahead and grab the lanyard here. I definitely don't want to drop this light when I take it outdoors today. Nice, they gave you an extra O-ring on this. Alright, nice size on that lanyard there. Fit multiple sized hands. Let's go ahead and get started on the UI. Okay, so now let's go over the button configuration. This button here on your left is going to be for flood. This button on the right is going to be for your thrower. Alright, so now we're going to do the bottom button here. And press and turn that on. And go through those light outputs. A lot of light coming out of that. Very floody. It does have a centralized hotspot here, So that's pretty interesting. Kind of see it there. A lot of bleeding here to the spill. Man, a lot of light coming out of that. Then of course, click it one more time, goes back to the lowest setting. Now we can press and hold and turn that off. Now we're going to turn on the dedicated thrower. As you can see, a lot more detail there. Now that we've got that turned on, simply just click on the button to go through those light outputs. Super easy on that. See the beam here, nice focused hot spot, a little bit of bleeding here, and then of course leads out to the spill, and that helps you get a lot of range with that middle LED. And then having two flashlights in one, both a flood and a thrower, really one of my favorite types. Combination beam is my #1 favorite, flood, and then dedicated thrower, that type, because I really don't use lights for real extended long ranges, like anything over 500 meters. It's really, I'm not needing that much. So here we go. Now with this on here, now we're going to go ahead and go back to the lowest setting. Now we're going to turn on the flood portion. So now you can see all the lights are on. So now, as you can see, you have that hot spot right here, and you have a little bit bigger flood spot there, more of a corona, and then the huge spill. Now I'm not going to do this on the highest output because it reflects too much back on the camera, but this is the best way I can show you, so you can see that dedicated hot spot for that thrower and the beam for the flood all together. Now in order to get to the special modes, I'm going to turn off the thrower portion of that. So now with this, we're going to press and hold. Now the light will shut off, and it is variable in speed, so it is pretty distracting. Then of course, if you click it again, it'll go to SOS, which is about 50% of the light's output on that. So it's a lot less strain on the battery. So if you are having an emergency, that helps out a lot. Now if you click this button again, it will go back to the regular part of the UI. This does have memory modes. So if we put it here, 3 levels up, press and hold to turn that back on. Comes right back on whatever light put that you had it on, which is really amazing. Press and hold, turn that back on. It does memorize turbo, so just remember that if you do turn it off on turbo and you want to come back on, make sure you lock out this light, and I'll go over that with you next. So now we're going to turn this back on, turn it back down. Now in order to digitally lock out this light, all you have to do is press and hold both these buttons. I press and hold both of them. You see the blink there? Now it's locked out digitally. It's only going to blink a couple times, but it will not activate. Okay, and then of course, press and hold that again. The light will come on. Then all you have to do is press and hold to turn that off. Really easy to use, solid performance, build quality, everything about these Fenix lights. And I've done a lot of Fenix lights, built solid, really nice quality through and through. So I can't wait to take this one outside. So let's go ahead and take this outside, see how it does in the wilderness. We are out here in the darkness with the Fenix LR40R. Both flood and throw all in one light, but you can use them independently. So we're going to start off on the flood portion of this light, and that there is 35 feet from where I'm standing. Here's the light, so I'm going to put it at my shoulder level here. 65 feet to that tree there from where I'm standing. Pure flood. It does have a little bit of a hot spot there, or should I say a centralized, focused hot spot there, but huge wall of light. And it is faintly making the tree of life, and that's 138 feet from where I'm standing. Wow, that's incredible. As you can see there. Alright, well, we're going to go to the next level here on the Tree of Life. I cannot get over how wide this beam is. Now, this portion of the light is not going to have a huge amount of throw to it, but I was quite surprised with it. Everywhere there is light with this Fenix. Now, because this is flood, it's got good color temperature on this too. Alright, we're going to go up to the next level here. Look at the Tree of Life. Now, it is windy out here, sorry about that. Just the amount of light coming out of this is incredible. Huge. And it is making it across the park. Look at that. Man. Huge wall of light. Incredible. Before and after at this light output. Look at that. Alright, so we're going to go to the next level. Look at that. Tree behind that Tree of Life is 238 feet. So you've got that much light. Now, it does start to dim out as it gets further to that tree behind it, but it just goes to show you this does have very nice throw. Easily making it across the park. This is just crazy amount of light. The beam profile here show you how large of an area this has. Amazing. All right. There we go. Look at that. That's just crazy. Faintly making those palm trees there with that flood. Look at the school. Lights up the school even with their lights on. Talk about sheer power. Before, after. Boom. All this coming from this. Incredible. We still got more to do. Look at that. Crazy. Alright, so now we're back to the lowest setting here. So we're going to go ahead and turn it off. Okay, now we're going to do the thrower portion of this Fenix. There it is. Tree line, fence line, even on this lower light output, doing really good. And it is making it across the park there, as you can see. That's really impressive. Tree of Life at this light output, 138 feet, remember? And it's making that with no problem. Alright, we're going to go to the next level here. A little bit of a jump there, see spills come alive. Usually making the spool there, as you can see, even with the lights on. Amazing performance on this light. I like having two lights in one. So if you do need a little more range, you can turn on the thrower. If you need more light, large area lighting that is, turn on the flood. Alright, so now we're going to go to the next level here. Nice little jump there. Again, fence line, tree line. Look at that, just light it up. There's the spill in front of me, all the way to that park. Throwing that light with ease. Man. Easily making those palm trees, even the further one too. Man, this is doing really good. We're going to go to the next level here. Hard to believe that this is 1,000 lumens. It seems brighter to me. See if I can run a couple of lux meter tests later on. Look at that. Palm tree there, quite a bit of ways from this one here up closer. Again, the range on this is excellent on this thrower, even for the light output that it has. Man, this is doing really good. Fence line, drowning out everything. Tree line, fence line. I'll do a beam profile here. Alright, so now we're going to go to the highest output on the floodlight here. Didn't want to mess up on the previous one, and I did anyways. So now we're going to turn on the flood portion of this light. And we're going to turn it on here. We're going to turn it all the way up to the highest output. So as you can see, the hot spot there is still very clearly visible. Fence line, tree line, as you can see. You've got the best of both throw and flood. Look at that. Making that palm tree in the distance. Not doing too bad. Look at that. You've got flood, all this light out to the side of you. And you've got that spot right there. Look at all this light. Incredible. This is definitely a keeper for me. Incredible. Alright, we're going to end it here on the Tree of Life. Hope you enjoyed those night shots. Okay, welcome back. Phenomenal performance on this. You got the best of both worlds with this one light. Like the fact that Fenix made it possible to where you can run one single 18650 protected cell. They have to be longer than your unprotected cell in order to work in this. You can get protected cells. Recommend you using a quality OEM if possible. Samsung 30Qs, protected ones, they're going to do really well in this light. I like the fact that you can have a large area light, and if you need that extra range beyond that flood beam, you've got that dedicated thrower built right in this light. Fenix has definitely captured my interest with this. Now that I have the light in my possession, I'm definitely going to be using this more often. Now with this light, it is on the expensive side, but you're getting two lights in one. You're getting the battery pack, so that adds a lot of value. I can't stress that more. That battery pack, hopefully Fenix will have an option where you can buy extra battery packs, but if not, you can run regular 18650 in here. 1 through 4, it depends on whatever you need. Like an emergency, put one in there. You only have one readily available. You can use it on the lower light outputs and you should be fine. Now this particular host has been around a while. Really nice to see that they are adding some upgrades, so they're keeping the kind of the host and the style alive. And I like that with Nitecore as well. They've done quite a few lights and they've upgraded the internals. Now I really like it when companies do that. Kind of keeps this particular style and design alive. So if you are interested in getting this, I'm going to leave links down in the description where you can pick this up. And that's it for me. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please share, like, and subscribe. That way I can bring more of these Fenix lights to you in the future. Thanks for watching. Take care.